Hey, lovers! Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black Sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Hey, book lovers! Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. Happy Independence Day. I'm not sure if you're somebody who celebrates, but if you are, happy 4th of July. This is not a holiday that I really rally behind, but I will enjoy my day at the Obama Presidential Center, having a good time. So I hope you all enjoy your holiday weekend and you get some good family time in, go to a fun cookout. You know, I'm not someone that really celebrates the 4th of July, but I will be finding somewhere to watch some fireworks. Okay. So I am going to go find somewhere. But I saw this post that it was talking about it's a recession indicator because they have not heard people like cracking fireworks all week. And I recognize that. Like, I did not hear fireworks going off all week. So, maybe that's a sign of the economic times that we're in. But sending y'all some good vibes. I hope you had a chance to listen to last week's episode, which was an interview with author Chinsia C. Higgins. You heard it out of her mouth, okay? That I am special. She does not do this often. All right. So I am so grateful that she made time for me and came on my podcast. And let me just pour into her and give her some flowers because she really is one of my favorite Black Sapphic authors, and I'm very grateful. But it's the top of the month, y'all. So y'all know what that means. Okay, so today's episode, I will be previewing the books that we are reading for July. All right, so if you are new to me and you've just discovered me, this is a book club podcast. So each month we have two Black Sapphic books that we read together and I discuss them on air. If you would like to follow along and be able to join the conversation, you can join the book club on Fable. I am also on social media, so you can come and find me and slide in my DMs or comment on a post to yap with me about these books. Okay. I am always in the market to make a new book friend. I will say Threads has quickly become my favorite platform. I am on Threads all the time. It gives me so much life. In fact, there's been so much book drama on Threads this week. Crazy, okay? And I just been glued into the drama. All right. So if you are someone that wants to yap with me for real, come and find me on Threads. My handle's the same everywhere. The book Love Her, Lovher. Come find me and yap with me about these books. But Threads is my favorite. I love it. It's giving like OG Twitter vibes. Okay. I'm just here for it. I have so much fun on the app. And anyway, yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit today about some of the book drama because this is my platform and I could do what I want. Okay. But before we get into that, I promised y'all some book recs. So, a couple episodes ago, I told y'all that I was going to bring you all some more book recs and some more books that were going to be released soon so that you all can save the date. All right. So I put out a call on Threads and asked the Black Sapphic authors to let me know if they had a new release coming up. So I have about 5 books that I want to make sure that you all are aware of that are coming out this month that you can add to your TBRs. Also, there's a cute trend that is happening right now too, where it's Christmas in July. So there's so many people that are currently reading Christmas books, and y'all may not know, but I am a holiday read girly. Okay, I love a holiday book. Speaking of holiday books, Carmen Lee just dropped a new book in her Sapphic novella series called Straps and Sparkles. Y'all, I got that book the moment she said that it was available for purchase, okay? And I am going to read it on the holiday. So I got it on July 3rd and I am holding on to it to read it on July 4th, okay? Because I am a holiday book person. So this Christmas trend is right up my alley. I read some really good Black Sapphic Christmas books this past holiday season that I want to, if you're new to me and you didn't listen to those episodes or weren't aware, I will share them with you again so that you all can go and read them for the month of July. But before I get to that, let's talk about some of the new releases. So, I already mentioned to you that Carmen Lee just dropped the third book in her holiday novella series. So, the first book was Strap and Swoon. She dropped that one back in February for Valentine's Day. And then she had one that dropped for spring break. That one was Springs and Straps. And now this one is for 4th of July and it's Straps and Sparkles. And if you can't tell, the running theme through all of these books is straps and plaids dicking. Okay? The girls are getting strapped down, and I've been getting my life. They are all good. I'm really excited to read this one. Okay, so I will be gobbling that up. They're less than 100 pages. They are very quick reads, but the story is like so good and complete. Like she really has mastered the art of a novella. Okay, so I love a good novella. I will gobble them up. Sometimes you don't want to sit with a book for a long time. You here for a good time, not a long time. And that's where the novellas come in. Okay? Sometimes you just want to get a quick little story, get a little taste. And I feel like she's done that really well. So I'm excited to read this one. So it came out on July 3rd. Right now, it's currently for purchase on her website for like $2. But if you wait a week, it'll be available on Kindle Unlimited as well. But I wanted to read it on the holiday. So, I gave her my $2 and got my book. Okay. So, Monique Good also has a book that's out now. So, she recently dropped a Black Sapphic romantasy novella called Once Upon Her Dream. So make sure y'all go and cop that as well. Then there are some additional books that are coming out this month. So Jessica Lewis is a young adult novelist. I recently interviewed her, but she has a book that's coming out next week on July 7th called Hallie's Rules for a Recovering Romantic. So that interview that I did with her, that's going to be dropping at the end of the month. But I enjoyed learning more about her. She's the first young adult author that I've had on the podcast. So just being able to talk to her about the importance of Black Sapphic representation in the young adult genre was really insightful. So I think y'all will enjoy that conversation. But stay tuned. That's coming at the end of the month. Also, Erica Alexander has a new book that's coming out as well this month. So on July 10th, her new book, Sweetest Pie, is coming out. And that's the second book in her ex roommates series. So, Erica Alexander, she's pretty consistent. We've read Where There's Smoke by her already. So I recommend her books all the time too. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and cop that. It comes out on July 10th. And then Kimani May, she has another Black Sapphic sports romance that's coming out this month. So her new book is going to be coming out on July 21st. That book is called Half Court Advantage. So I told y'all about her books back in May when we were reading the sports romance books. So the first book that I, recommended to y'all was Half Court Shot. This is the second book. So I'm excited to read that. And if you like the sports romances and books with WNBA stars, T. Ashley has a new book that's coming out too. So her book drops on July 27th. And that book features a WNBA star and a Broadway performer. So that book is called City Love Stories, Marquee Overtime. So yeah, I know a lot of us like the sports romances and the WNBA basketball romance books. So I'm excited that we have some more that are coming out soon. So, doing this podcast has really just exposed me to so many new authors, and I've been discovering books and just learning more about this genre. So, every time somebody's saying like they can't find these books, it's like there's just so many. I also have another interview coming up with author Avery Irons. So I've been wanting to dabble in historical fiction for a while. She dropped a historical fiction book back in February, and the book is about the Great Migration. One of the characters is queer, and talks about her journey and is set in Illinois. So that book just came in the mail. So I am really excited to read that and interview her. So I'll have more information about when that interview is going to drop. But I'm excited to read some historical fiction, especially one that has a Black Sapphic character. And I'm really looking forward to my conversation with her. But, I'm just really grateful because for those of you who've been listening to me for a while, back in January, I said that I wanted to interview more authors. And I've been taking off since then. So in 2025, I interviewed two authors. So L.M. Bennett was the first author that I had on my podcast. And it was very intentional. She was the first person I knew I wanted to come on my podcast because her and I connected on social media when I read her book, The Art of Going Rogue. And I had reached out to her to like talk to her about that book and give her props. And then I let her know that I was going to be starting something like this. She'd offered then to come on as a guest or be involved in some way. So once I launched all of this, I followed up with her and was like, hey, remember what you said? I'm doing this now. And she came on. She was my very first guest. So then when January came, I'm like, you know what? One of my New Year's resolutions is to have more authors on my podcast. And ever since then, I've had at least one author interview per month. Threads, the reason why I like Threads as a social media platform is because it just gets you in front of the people that you really need to get in front of. I don't know. I'm just having a lot more success finding access to people and people who are actually interested in listening to my podcast and who want to support what I'm doing. I had made a post about my podcast, and then authors had reached out asking if they can come on as guests. So I'm just really grateful for the support and the love that people have been showing me and the visibility that, that platform has given me. So I'm just really excited. I have some more author interviews coming up. And, as I'm entering season 2, so my season officially started on August 30th, 2025. So that's when I launched all of this. And part of the reason why I wanted to have the Book Lovers Fest was to commemorate the year anniversary for my podcast. So as that's coming up, I'm already starting to think through plans and ideas for my second season and what I want that to look like and how I want to, scale what I'm doing, what I want to keep doing, what I want to revise and revamp. So just knowing that there are people out there that support me, especially authors who want to come on and talk to me about their books. I'm just really, really, really grateful. And I know I talk about gratitude all the time, but it is a running theme. I am someone that very much has a gratitude attitude, okay? But I am just really looking forward to some of these conversations that I'm having. And I've learned so much. I really have. I can't wait for you all to hear the conversation that I had with Jessica Lewis because she is one of the authors that is fully trad. Okay, so some of the authors I've interviewed have been hybrid, where they have some trad releases, but they are also independent. So she's one of the authors that I've met that's like fully writing full time and has a trad deal. So I learned so much about the traditional side of publishing through that conversation. So I'm just really soaking up all this knowledge. And I hope that you all are listening to these episodes and getting to know these authors, especially if you're someone who's an aspiring writer. They are like really dropping gems and putting us on game. So I'm just grateful for every author that has graced my podcast. Okay. I've really enjoyed the conversations. But today, I also wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about some of the book drama. So I keep talking about Threads and how I love Threads, but it's always something going on over there. Okay. It is never a dull moment. Never. Okay. And this week, it was so messy. And, I really just like mess in my books. I don't like mess and drama in real life. In fact, if something starts to feel too messy and it feels dramatic like that, and it's giving me the ick, I will ghost. Okay. I will fade to black real fast, baby. I'll disappear. I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. But It is really nice. Reading about drama that's not yours. So, this past week, for those of you who are not on Threads, who may have missed some of the book talk updates, all right? Lawrence Baldwin, so he is the narrator that did Jaquel J's book Capri, the Capri series. So he was the narrator for Quamir. He got outed on social media by his wife. So she logged into his social media and posted on his page that he had been cheating on her, and he had cheated on her with 12 different women at one point, and some of them were authors, and that he was even cheating on her at Black Romance Book Fest, but he brought her with him. So she was there at the festival and he was cheating on her there. And the internet went up. Okay. It was so messy, y'all. So messy. We also had some drama this week with there's a Chicago based bookstore called Honey and Hugh Bookstore. So the owner of that bookstore was beefing with one of the Jacquel J fans. You know, she calls us the 503s. I call us a cult. We are very much a cult. Okay, we do not play about Miss Author Lady. You know, the owner of the bookstore, I don't think she realizes how unhinged this fan base can be. Okay, but she had went to social media to say that she has some books available for purchase from when Jaquel J came and did her book signing event there. So she has some copies of Don Caselli and some copies of 10,000 Hours with the Rich Menace. Okay. So she posted and was like, these books are only available for local pickup. We will not be shipping. So she made that post online. She went on live and, somebody was asking her about shipping and she kind of went off on them a little bit. It was in poor taste. Okay. But the internet went up. The internet went up. And now people are calling to boycott her store and things like that. So, you know, all I would say is you got to be careful with the Jacquel J fans, baby, because they do not play about Miss Author Lady, and they will take to the internet streets and let you know how they not to be fucked with, okay? Another thing that's been happening is just like some horrible takes. It's been some horrible takes. Everybody has a platform, everybody has something to say. There may be a time where you all do not like my opinion, and that's valid and that's fair, okay? We all have different beliefs, different values, different perspectives and outlooks on things. So, this comes with the territory with everybody having a platform and everybody having access to share their opinions. But some of these opinions that y'all have been sharing have been crazy. Somebody had made a post basically questioning why all of the books lately have plus size FMCs with locks. A lot of people felt triggered by that. Like, what you mean? We can't have books with plus size female leading characters? Like, what you mean by that? We can't have characters in books with natural hair? So then someone jumped in to say, like, I feel like, I don't know how Zane got dragged in it, but, someone else then said, like, well, I find it weird that women who look like Zane then write books about characters that are young and fit when basically, like, she don't look like that. And it was the shadiest shade ever. And I don't know. Between all of that drama, the only thing that I kind of left with is just the internet is a crazy place. What are the things that people have internalized that led to them having these outlooks? The representation in books, the lack of imagination, why we, especially in a genre like fiction, where it's all make believe. This is all made up, so authors can't write about characters that look different than them now. I don't know. It's been a lot of weird takes, y'all. And I guess my big takeaway from this is that if you want to be in some drama, it's drama there for you to be in. But a lot of us are here just to read books. Despite the cheating scandal, my heart really went out to Lawrence because audiobook narration is his business and he's really good at it. And we don't have a lot of black male audiobook narrators. So, some people were speaking of saying, I really hope that this doesn't impact his career as a narrator. Like, what happens in his personal life shouldn't have a reflection on his career, and that authors shouldn't shy away from working with him because of what's happened. But then, how many authors were out here getting a discount for their narration because they were sleeping with him? We'll never know. His wife was like, I was just trying to put him on blast. I will not be leaking names of the women that he was messing with. This is not that. I just wanted to put him on blast. But one thing I'm not going to do is come to the internet with my relationship problems. I don't want all of y'all in my business. I will not be doing that. Okay? So I feel like they got bigger fish to fry, but I do not know that man. We do not know that man. We do not know the dynamics between him and his wife, but the fact that it was so many people, celebrities, people not even in the book space. Mrs. Kev on stage ended up in the drama, okay? So how all these people find out about this and how it went up like that, like these are real people and like their real lives. And I just want us to be mindful of that. So, I got a few jokes off in my private group chats and in the DMs, but I wasn't gonna engage in dragging that man on the internet, even though I'm talking about it now. I am talking about it now. But hey, look, this should happen in the book streets. And I'm usually not somebody that uses my platform to talk about the drama, but I just feel like lately we're getting away from the purpose of all of this, which is to read books, share our love of reading books, talk about the books we love, and like all this yapping on the internet, we could be reading books. Okay? And that's it. But if you are someone that likes drama, there's drama for you to be in. Okay? There's drama for you to be in. So, also these weird takes, like let people have an imagination. Let people write what they're going to write. The beautiful thing about the fiction genre, it allows people to step out of their comfort zones and try something new and be creative and explore different themes. It's not as restrictive as nonfiction. Okay? Also, what about fantasy and the books where it's vampires and witches and stuff like that? The authors aren't vampires, or unless they know something I don't. But they're writing those stories and they don't look like or identify as the characters they're writing. It's fantasy, it's make believe. This is all make believe. So I don't know. I just wish that people would release themselves from these shackles of, conformity. But I hate that Zane even got dragged into it. Why are you bringing my girl in here and talking about her looks? So unnecessary. This is why she was faceless. This is why a lot of people are faceless. Y'all gonna make these authors go back to not talking to us. Speaking of which, I completely forgot to mention how y'all was coming at Kennedy Ryan. So she did an interview and talked about how Kennedy Ryan is a pen name. And then everybody went up on the internet acting like they never heard of pen names before. Like this is a foreign concept. Most authors are not publishing their books under their full government name. A pen name is so common. I don't even use my full government name on this podcast. So that was such a weird thing. So to the point where people were leaking her government name. What? We've lost the plot. Can we get back to the books? Let's just get back to reading and yapping about books. Some of y'all are doing entirely too much. Go out and touch some grass. Maybe instead of running to the internet to write about certain things, put it in a journal. Talk to your therapist about it. There's so many other options because the things that happen on the internet do have long term consequences in your real life, So I don't know how this situation with Lawrence and his wife is going to impact his narration career and what's going to happen, but we got to think twice before we post and just be mindful of that. But I want us to just get back to the books, y'all. It's been too much drama and people are doing too much. Doing too much. So this not even my wheelhouse, okay? I am not someone to be in here talking about book drama, but it was just so much this week. Every time I logged into Threads, it was like, oh, y'all at it again? Like, damn, can we just get back to reading books? Like, it's too much. It's too much. Anyway, the purpose of this episode was to let you all know what books we are reading for the month of July. So, one of the books that we're reading this month is Off Script by Ava Freeman. Her book came out last year, but the audiobook just dropped last month. And y'all know I am like deep in my audiobook bag. I've actually already started it and I'm enjoying it so far. So I am going to give you all a preview of that book before the episode ends today. And then the other book that we're reading is Leather, Lace, and Locks by Anne Shade. So I've been wanting to read this book for a minute, and it's finally time. So let me go ahead and read a description for you all so you can know what to expect. This book description is from Goodreads, and this is for Off Script by Ava Freeman. A chance rideshare, a once in a lifetime spark, a love story neither woman saw coming. Roxanne Cruz has a Tony Award, a crushing case of writer's block, and a growing fear that lightning won't strike twice. Arabella James is a publicist with a pristine reputation, a Rolodex full of A-listers, and zero interest in dating. Neither of them is looking for a relationship, but when a chance ride share turns into late-night conversations, shared glances, and undeniable chemistry, their connection is impossible to ignore. What starts as a spark becomes something deeper, just in time for Arabella to take on Roxanne as a client. In a moment of desperation, Roxanne proposes a fake relationship with her famous friend to stir up buzz. Arabella's job? Sell the romance. Even if it means standing in the wings while the woman she's fallen for plays pretend with someone else. As jealousy bubbles, headlines spin, and their private feelings threaten to become very public, Roxanne and Arabella are about to learn that falling in love is the easy part. Sparks fly, secrets smolder, and love goes wildly off script in this swooning, sexy, sapphic romance about ambition, vulnerability, and choosing each other when it matters most. Ooh, that sounds good. And I'm telling y'all now, it is off to a really good start. And I really enjoy Ava Freeman's writing style. So I'm so excited to not only finish this book, but also read more books in her catalog. All right, so this next book description is Leather, Lace, and Locks by Anne Shade. Melissa Hart is a shy, mousy introvert, afraid to step out of her comfort zone until she dons a mask and leather as the dominatrix persona Mistress Hart. Living a double life, she develops an intimate relationship with the mysterious client who chips away the wall separating Miss Hart from Mistress Hart to show Melissa the woman she really is. Golden Hughes had one goal: to turn her passion for dance into a professional career. Then tragedy strikes, and Golden sets her dreams aside for a regular job and steady paycheck. Now that she has everything she needs, her passion for dance is reignited in burlesque performance, putting her in the path of two unique and sexy women. Zoe Grant has spent most of her adult life putting her wants and needs on the back burner to focus on raising her daughter, her career as a beautician, and expanding her family's natural hair care products business. When a woman running from a painful past comes to the salon for a life-changing haircut, Zoe finds what she wants and needs in the most unexpected way. Three friends, each on their own path, discover love could lead to happily ever after. Ooh, that sounds good too. And I'm excited to read about a dominatrix. Okay, I'm here for that. I'm curious to see how these three women interact and intersect in this story, okay? But I've been wanting to read this book for a while. Maybe because I have locks and I'm a sucker for a beautiful book cover, and it's been on my TBR for a while. So now it's time to dig in. And I've really been looking forward to reading some Anne Shade books. But y'all, I think July is going to be a good month. If you are an audiobook girly, go and download the audiobook for Off Script. Grab your copy of Leather, Lace, and Locks and read along with me. Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review, because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.